Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome all back to Dominant Mets Nation. I gotta say, this is my favorite time of the year. We got Mr. Steve Cohen, the man, the myth, the legend, flying to see Mr. Juan Soto, going across country, probably gonna offer him a mega amount of money, and he's going to make that Godfather offer. Meanwhile, you hear the Mets are going full bore after one of the best pitchers on the market. Oh my God, this is what I love to hear. You know, all the rumors right now, everything makes sense. Everything makes sense. We have the White Sox potentially as a perfect, and I mean the perfect trade partner for our New York Mets. And we're going to look at a trade package. So stick around. We're going to look at a trade package, what makes sense, and you're going to see why the White Sox appear to be that perfect trade partner. Well, you know what, folks? Before we get into this, before we get into the fun stuff, I got to personally thank you. I got to thank you for all the support in our last videos. Please continue to smash that like button. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber yet. We are a passionate MLB, baseball, Mets-centric station, but we do all MLB content. We'd love for you to stick around. Everybody, all are welcome. I don't care what fan of you. We just love to have fun here. Okay, so, and again, before, follow us on X, at Dominant Mets. At Dominant Mets, that is our handle. Just another way where we could communicate, and it's going to get more, the account is going to get more active as the season progresses, so stick around. All right, so let us get to the main story. And Garrett Crochet, a 25, going to be 26-year-old, left-handed, all the talent in the world. This guy's got all the pitches. Guy can throw 100 miles per hour. He's been developing his pitches over the last couple of years, transitioning from mostly out of the bullpen to exclusively starter last year. We heard the rumors start swirling at the trade deadline. Garrett Crochet potentially could go to the New York Mets. But at the deadline, it was problematic. We heard demands coming from the Crochet camp that wherever Garrett goes, he wants to sign a long-term contract. Now, Garrett is signed for the next 2 years at very minimal money. And that is so super, super important because we expect a high productivity from Mr. Garrett Crochet, but we are paying him low dollar amount. So you are getting excellent value for the next couple years. Well, makes a lot of sense. Going after guys like Juan Soto, you got to save a little bit money somewhere since we do have some kind of salary cap structure. But, you know, I love it. So that was problematic at the trade deadline. You needed to sign the man up. And number two, the other thing that was problematic is Garrett Crochet was being built up. He's had injuries in the past. Another problematic point, but he was being built up, and potentially, if the Mets got to the playoffs last year, and it appears like, you know, obviously they did, he wouldn't be available to be used. So you give up a good package at the deadline. You gotta lock the man up because that was his demand, or else he didn't want to be traded. And number two, he wouldn't be available for the playoffs. So that's where it was problematic. But that's where this trade makes so much sense right now. And the more research I do, the more and more it makes sense. More and more it makes sense. And you are seeing everybody connecting the dots. And that's what you have to do. You got Steve Cohen trying to build his team around a generational player in Juan Soto. Whether you love him, whether you think he's got weaknesses with the glove, Steve Cohen and a lot of talent evaluators believe that this man is worth a hell of a lot of money. Maybe not as much as the money that Scott Boras is demanding, but you hear the teams like the Rays, the Dodgers, who already have a slew of roster guys who are, you know, God, superstars, Freddie Freeman. I mean, the list goes on and on. They're moving Mookie Betts to the infield, supposedly to free up a position. And I'm not sure if that's to jack up the price. I'm not really sure if they intend that. Like, why put out that information in the beginning of the offseason? Oh, we're going to move Mookie Betts to the infield. I mean, I kind of think that, you know, some of these things are put out there just to play games. But then you hear teams like the Tampa Bay Rays, who spend no money, they're interested. I don't know if that's a little bit of the Boris camp, sending their writer or having writers put these articles. But nonetheless, I mean, it makes sense if you think about it. Juan Soto's going to demand a mega contract. So getting a guy like Garrett Crochet, you need your aces. You need your aces. A guy who's not making a lot of money makes all the sense in the world. I mean, Garrett Crochet, he's been an interesting guy. Last year, great year. Great year. The win-loss record wasn't so nice because he played for the White Sox, but he was 6-12, 3.58 earner and average, pitched 150 innings, folks. That's very important. 150 innings, 58 earned runs, 209 strikeouts, strikeout machine. That equates to about 13 strikeouts per 9 innings. His whip is 1.06. Very, very good. I mean, Garrett Crochet was nothing short of nasty last year. Nasty. I mean, his expected ERA was 2.83, 91st percentile. Expected batting average 206, 89th percentile. His velocity, average velocity 97.2. Chase rate a 93rd percentile. Whiff rate 93rd percentile. K percentage 98th percentile. And folks, this is what I love the most out of this young man. Base on ball percentage 87th percentile. This guy, as young as he is, as nasty as he is, he can locate. He can locate. This guy has all the potential in the world. And you know what, folks? His ground ball percentage is not bad. It's at 64%. But if you have a strikeout machine plus a guy who, really, guys hit the ball, if he can induce a lot of ground balls, that's going to really, really help him out as well. His pitching repertoire is he has got a four-seam fastball. He uses that most of the time, 53% of the time, he goes to the four-seam fastball. Then he's got a cutter, a 91.5-mile-per-hour cutter. He uses that next highest usage at 30%. Then he's got other pitches. He's got a sweeper, a changeup, and a sinker. So he's got a couple really nice pitches. And really, you gotta really love what you see right now from the young career of Garrett Crochet. And I'm just super excited. So let's get to some more details. So Garrett Crochet is really, honestly, from the trade market, he's the most obvious candidate, right? I've been looking at all the potential trade candidates. I looked at the center fielder from the Colorado Rockies, the young center fielder. I would say him and Garrett Crochet are my top two guys that I listed before the season started that I would like us to look into. Garrett Crochet, number one. Garrett Crochet, and obviously he's obvious because we had some talks at the deadline, but John Heyman now reports the Amazons are heavily looking into Crochet. So it's more than just rumors. John Heyman of the New York Post, basically, it's confirmed that the Amazons are involved in talks about Crochet's availability. The fit is obvious, as we spoke about. The Mets are in clear need of starting pitching. You don't know what's going to happen with Manaea. You don't know what's going to happen with Severino. Jose Quintana, again, you don't know what's going to happen. All of these guys are entering free agency. New York, the New York Mets have a lot of money coming off the books. A lot of damn money. We have the spending power to get whoever we damn well want to pursue. It really depends. How does David Stearns want to upgrade this rotation? How does he envision this rotation looking? Okay. Crochet is entering his second year of arbitration and is projected to make only $2.9 million in 2025, making him immensely affordable for his final 2 years of team control. Again, he is projected to make $2.9 million in 2025. I mean, God, a guy who pitches, just envision this. You get a sub-3 ERA, a nasty, lefty, a 26-year-old lefty topping your rotation. That is a David Stearns guy. That is a David Stearns guy because that is extreme freaking value. All right, of course, it all comes down to price. It all comes down to price as the White Sox, and they should be. They should be looking to score a very nice return. Landing, they are looking to land key building blocks for their future. As Crochet is the franchise's top trade asset, in the wake of Luis Robert's disappointing 24 season. Last year, those were their top two guys. Luis Robert was potentially their top trading point. Now it's Crochet. All right. So apparently there are a lot of suitors in this situation. The White Sox, they can't afford to be not picky. I mean, they have to look at what makes sense for them. So GM Chris Getz of the White Sox basically said the White Sox, and this is his quote, are focusing on position player returns. We certainly need to improve our offense. Light bulb going off. Who has many position player prospects? The New York Mets. The New York Mets. All right, so we have the return. Number two, which team can guarantee a long-term contract? That's also one of the things that Garrett Crochet wants. The New York Mets. The New York Mets. So 2 for 2. And which team is aggressive, meaning they are willing to go the extra mile? Which team is looking to win now and coming off a very highly productive season? And ding, 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 the New York Mets. So this is where the perfect fit and all stars are going to be aligned. Last year, the Padres and the Yankees, that was the perfect fit. The Padres were looking for pitching talent from the minor league return. The Yankees had that. Michael King, Drew Thorpe, and then they surrounded that package with other players. That is going to be something similar to what the Mets are going to do. I don't expect it to be that big of a package. Although, this is going to be an elite starting pitcher. Okay, so let's get into how this package may look. I mean, and if you look at the Mets pipeline, the Mets view, their view as having a very strong minor league pipeline, really, especially in the position player aspect, really. Back in August, Baseball America ranked the Mets farm system as the 10th best in the sport, with MLB Pipeline putting the Amazons not far behind in their own ranking. Okay, so while other teams might have more to offer the White Sox in terms of sheer prospect quality and depth, New York isn't short of interesting potential trade chips, particularly on the player side. That's what Chicago wants. Former top prospect Brett Baty might be at the top of the list. Baty has yet to do much in the MLB, but plenty of clubs were checking in on him at the deadline. I repeat, Brett Baty had a slew of teams looking in on him at the trade deadline. Mets don't want to give up on him. They know the talent that Brett Baty has. He's a very intriguing chip. Then you have other chips like Luis Angel Acuna, Ronnie Mauricio, right then and there. Those are three guys who, very close to the majors, and they can help your team right now. Often you get 2 or 3 prospects that are years away, but the Mets have guys right now. And it kind of reminds me of the Lindor situation where the Mets were able to offer guys, Andres Jimenez and Ahmad Rosario, 2 good shortstops. But the important thing, Cleveland wanted infield prospects, they needed infield guys ready right now to play. So the Mets can offer you Acuna, who could play now. Mauricio, who's healthy, he could play now. Brett Baty, who's healthy, he can play now. Those guys have all the potential in the world. But if you want to go further into their positional player prospects, they have other guys too who are very highly ranked and talented. Those guys include Jet Williams, Drew Gilbert, Ryan Clifford, Carson Bench, all rank within Pipeline's current league top 100 list. So those guys, Jet Williams, Drew Gilbert, Ryan Clifford, and Carson Bench, are all listed within Pipeline's top 100 list. I wouldn't give up Bench. I wouldn't give up Clifford. But it really depends on how much you want this guy. But, at the end of the day, we have a heck of a lot of players to really, really think about it. You give the White Sox a very respectable offer, a very respectable offer. I know Stearns is going to be aggressive. And let's just say this. You probably were okay if we give Luis Angel Acuna, who's going to play second base. This is why you save money in certain aspects and you can spend money elsewhere. So you save money by getting a Garrett Crochet. All right, you send away. Let's say you build around a Beatty, Acuna, Beatty, Acuna. Let's just say you give Mauricio, right? And if they want a couple other minor league, middling pitching prospects, let's say, now you may be worried who's going to play second base. Well, Vientos would play third, right? Second base, this is where you get aggressive. This is where you take advantage of your money. You sign a Willy Adames. You sign a Willy Adames, and that's what I said in my other Willy Adames video. If you sign these guys, these players, that means you can use some of your prospect capital to get a starting pitcher. That is what you use top prospects for. If you're acquiring a left fielder, a third baseman, or other positional players, it may not make sense, but this is what you use your capital for. You use your capital for if you have prime positional needs, like a shortstop, a center fielder, that's fine. Even a catcher, right? Those are prime positions that you need quality talent at. But, we're pretty good at that. We got our catcher. We got our shortstop. There's no more important position than starting pitching. You got to get your starting pitchers. Yes, relief pitching is important too, but we need these guys. We need these starters. And even if we get a Garrett Crochet, I highly anticipate us going after another co-ace. I certainly do. Another co-ace. Whether that comes in the form of I'm not so sure. Max Fried. I don't know. I really envision David Stearns. Maybe it's because he played with, obviously Corbin Burns played with the Brewers. I don't know. I envision a co-ace scenario, but getting a guy like Garrett Crochet at that extreme low price point makes all the damn sense in the world. All right, folks, what do you think about Garrett Crochet to the Queens? Because I think it has a very high chance of potentially happening. What do you think about the trade package? And, and do you think the White Sox and the Mets, are they the perfect trade partners? I mean, the White Sox said they're looking for positional prospects. We have guys who are very close to the majors, and then we got lower level prospects who may be there in a year or two, but we have just a mix of everything that the White Sox want. Plus, we can offer Crochet that long-term contract. Tell me how it doesn't make sense. Tell me how it doesn't work. Yes, I know there's other competition out there, but, focusing on the Mets, I think it makes all the sense in the world. If you haven't got a chance to like, subscribe, smash that like button. Tells me you like the video. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. We love to have you here. Thank you so very much. Have a great day. Let's go Mets.